where do you see things going? Because sir, एक तो ये great game चल रहा है. जैसे great game generally we use it for Afghanistan and Russia. That's how it started, and then the Americans came. Let's call it the great game towards our east, sir. वो मानते हैं. ये किस तरीके से बैठ रहा है? How is it all coming together? Violence तो फिर चाइना मैसेज भेजेगा, कुछ किसी को बोलेगा, इंसर्जेंट्स ग्रुप को आर्म करेगा, एंड अगेन गॉड फॉरबिड ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, बट वायलेंस होगा वहां पे. एक और चीज है सर, जहां पे आर्मी ऑपरेट करती है, बिकॉज द आर्मी, द इंडियन आर्मी इज अ प्रोफेशनल आर्मी सर, एंड दे हैव देयर ओन कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट एंड दे आर वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट अबाउट इट. प्रॉब्लम यह है कि जहां पे आप ऑपरेशंस करेंगे, लो इंटेंसिटी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगी, वहां पे कभी ना कभी तो कोलैटरल डैमेज होगा सर. Much as you would try to ignore and I mean avoid it, not ignore but avoid it as far as possible, even to the extent of taking own casualties sir. इतना करते हैं. वैली में तो इट्स बहुत बार हो चुका है ऐसा, कश्मीर वैली में, कि पब्लिक को कुछ ना हो तो खुद वहां पे they've taken bullets and all that sir. This can also be hyped up. फौज ने ये कर दिया, फौज ने इनोसेंट्स को मार, ये तो होता ही है वहां पे सर. China will do that. How should we control it? What's your view, sir? This China factor and internal factor. एका कैसे लाना है लोगों के बीच में? If we are united as Indians, even whether it's north, east, west, north, south, doesn't matter, sir. If we are united, then that is that much more difficult for the Chinese to do, sir. They're still going to do it, but it's going to be more difficult. How do we bring about unity in the northeast and what role can Assam rifles play? Because I said, अपने मैंने जो documentary बनाई थी उसमें बोला था कि this is the only place where the Kuki can call the Naga his brother or a Methi can call the Kuki his brother, because वहाँ पे everybody is like they're like brothers in Assam rifles. That is the culture of the force. So ये होगा कैसे? First part. Second part is Assam rifles. What role can Assam rifles play in this?
It's a very good question and a very detailed one, if I can say that. This propensity to interfere will continue. China will do it no matter what. So it is for us to understand that we have to arrest this in whatever way we can. And there are multiple stakeholders who will be involved in this. The easiest way, of course, for everyone is say government should do this, government should do this, government should do this. But my constant refrain everywhere has been government can only be a facilitator. It has to start at the people's level. Sure. So that is where in the Northeast, the civil society organizations are very strong. Yes. So are the women's organizations. So are the organizations of the elders, like in the Nagas. They have
the Gaubudas are very the same.
The Gaubudas. They hold great sway over the impressions that are created, the general sentiments that go around, and that is where those people have to be told that please get around your people, tell them the need or necessity for them to calm down on violence and just cut out from secessionist thoughts that are coming to your mind, and give them examples. Like we spoke of this Durang Cup and Femina Miss India. Similarly, the G20, so many meetings were held in the Northeast. In fact, a large number of them in Nagaland. I mean, if 5 years back somebody had asked me, in spite of all my years, can a G20 meeting happen in Kohima? I'd say, what are you talking? You're out of your mind, is what would have been my reaction. Yes, but the fact is, it has happened. Not just happened, it happened successfully. If that campaign of, since again you're in Nagaland, from your time, can you imagine ever a situation where the national flag is fluttering everywhere, each and every corner of Nagaland? That Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, it was so successful in the Northeast. Sure. You can't imagine. I mean, when I was a major there fighting insurgency in Nagaland, I couldn't spot a single flag, for that matter, even in Manipur. But then it was such a transformational change 2 years back. And thereafter, it has not stopped with that Independence Day. Thereafter, every Independence Day, every Republic Day, it is only growing in magnitude, growing in size. So this is something good. That is, I'm just giving an example. Public engagements. A lot of public engagements. They're realizing that if we cast aside all these differences, these loyalties that we hold towards our ethnic groups, that a lot of good can happen. And a lot of good has happened. And for example, if you traveled on the road from Dimapur to Kohima, sure. At one time when it used to take 3.5 hours, 4 hours when I was IG. And I was IG not very long back, 2018 to 20 I was IG. Then to now, it takes an hour and 15 minutes. You cut down the time by 1/3.
But how's that, sir? The road is very bad. I've gone, sir.
And now it's a proper 4-lane highway that has been created.
I remember that patch just before Kohima, sir. There was this 20-25 kilometer patch and the vehicle would go.
That's a landslide patch.
Yes,
that's all sorted. That's all sorted. So the point that I'm trying to emphasize is that these things in the form of public engagement has to be highlighted to them, and they will understand. They will surely understand. They will come on board. And this sense is there. They're seeing it. It's visible. They're understanding all this. The problem is in between somebody just puts out a narrative that nothing is being done, we are being neglected. It's not the case. A lot has happened in the Northeast. The kind of visits of senior dignitaries from the center that has happened, it never happened. Every weekend there is somebody there in the Northeast, not just visiting, but taking stock of what is happening and coming back and reporting, which is a very great thing. Which is also a reason why development is happening. For example, the number of bridges that are there over Brahmaputra. When we all started, there was only one bridge. Then the second came up. Now there are 4 or 5 of them. So these developments are very visible, and people are making a change. So that is insofar as how to arrest the Chinese influence. And Assam Rifles. Before I come to Assam Rifles or security force for that matter, I want to make another misconception very clear, which at times get reported in the media. Assam, since we spoke of the biases or so that Assam Rifle does, one of the reasons they give is Assam Rifle is always there at the same place, they don't move out, which is false. Pre-1985, that was the case. Assam Rifle battalions never used to move out. But beginning from 1985-86, Assam Rifle battalions are moving out every 2 to 3 years. So there's no question of having a emotional connect or being biased towards a certain community where you're deployed. It's not the case. 2 years we're here, 3rd year the battalion goes somewhere else. That one point I wanted to make clear. The second part about what role we can play is, again, our soldiers are our best emissaries, our ex-servicemen. We have to have these ex-servicemen engagements to a very great extent. And Assam Rifles...
Assam में होता है सर?
होता है.
मैंने खुद देखा है.
होता है, but what I'll tell you, what we started again few years back was a joint Assam Rifles Indian Army rally. Because there are places where Indian Army presence is not there, hardly there. Mizoram, for example. Nagaland, other than Dimapur, where the core headquarters is, in the very remote parts of Nagaland, there is nothing. Again, in Manipur, other than 57 division, which is not fully there, it's all Assam Rifles everywhere. So what I'm trying to allude to is the fact, while the number of ex-servicemen are very vast, of both combined, when you get them together, it acts as a force. So whenever these rallies have happened, like these are our emissaries. I'm sure when General Shokin Chauhan came here, he would have told you that all our ex-servicemen in Nepal are our emissaries. They are our ambassadors. And the kind of work that they do for us, propagating the goodness of having nice relationship with India, they're all doing it on ground. I've seen this myself in my 3 visits to Nepal as a DGR. So similar thing here also. All these people, when a serving soldier, when he goes on leave, he, from whatever he learns, he spreads the word around of the necessity to have peace and facilitate development.